Okay, so Snapseed just released a 1.1 update, which has some good features, but there's one thing I just can't seem to figure out how to do, so if anybody does figure it out, please let me know. One of the things about 1.1 is that it did allow Snapseed to kind of become an editor for some of the other programs up there, like Aperture and Lightroom, etc. I use Lightroom, so you'll see I have Lightroom up right here. Or sorry, I use Aperture. So you'll see I have Aperture up right here. And one of the nice things that you can do now is that you can set Aperture and its preferences, and this would be similar in Lightroom, to under the export have the external editor set as, and I have it set as Snapseed. So you're just going to choose, and your list of apps will open up. And as soon as this opens, you just choose it. I used to be using Pixelmator, but you can use kind of any photo editor that you want outside of Aperture or Lightroom or whatever you're using. So when I take a shot, say like, we'll just say this one here, so this is a simple shot of some food, I can right click on this shot and say edit now with Snapseed. Now of course I have my plugins that I can use, right? But if you want to have an external editor, you can just kind of use this. So this will prepare it, and what it does is I have it set to create a TIFF that will send out to Snapseed, and then Snapseed, as you can see, is opening. And there it is. So I can kind of come in here and play around with this shot, right? So if I wanted to tune my image, I could do the same thing, you know, add contrast points. Yep, right? And how big this is going to be, and do I want the brightness or contrast up on that tomato, you know, the saturation up on that tomato, make it all pretty, and how big it's going to be, so all the reds. You know what I'm saying. If you've watched the previous Snapseed or any of the other Snapseeds, you can kind of see what this is doing, right? Which is, well, it's kind of neat. The only thing I can't figure out how to do is that once you apply this, and you want to save it, it doesn't seem to want to round trip. So what I mean is that when it saves, it doesn't actually go back into the Aperture library, which I guess is okay if this was going out somewhere else. But as soon as I hit the save button, it seems to want to push it, you know, into that realm. But you know, it's renaming it, it's changing its file type. I can switch it back to a TIFF if I felt like it, but it doesn't seem to want to push right back into Aperture, so it doesn't replace it. If someone can let me know how if that is a feature, and if I'm just doing something wrong, that would be awesome. But it is a nice step anyway, just to be able to get it over here. It does save you having to export out of Aperture and then saving it to somewhere, so you can kind of work on single files. So it's definitely a step in the right direction. It may, like I said, it may round trip a little bit better, and I'm just not aware of it. If I do figure it out, I will post another video so you guys can see that. Alright, but if not, this is Snapseed 1.1, and still great piece of software. Enjoy.